There we go. That's a lot more like it, huh? Misclicked there in the intro. Hello and welcome everyone to the weekend preview. This is the very first time that I'm doing the weekend preview with my new microphone in my new setup. This is really the same setup I had, only the difference is I'm using a completely different program to do it. So I would ask that you guys are patient. If there's any technical difficulties or whatever, please be patient and please let me know in the comments of the video what's going on. But as you can see, we still got the patron crawl at the top for the month of March patrons. And speaking of which, this is going to be a fun week. We're going to be full of brand new content for you guys. We're going to be continuing on with some patron rewards and stuff like that. Let me explain to you exactly what that means. But before we get to that, now is the time, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a week and a half left, and it's the final crunch. So I need to start, after 2 weeks of kind of laying off of it, promoting again my Patreon account for the month of April. So let's explain. If you go to patreon.com/darksidephil, for 2 months I've had a very successful Patreon fundraising campaign when it comes to starting new series, getting new equipment, all kinds of stuff. We've seen me play Minecraft for a month straight. You've seen me do a Indie Games mini marathon. You've seen me start up a now new DSP Classics montage series, which is a big hit. Within 2 days, I've got over 10,000 views on my very first part of Heavy Rain, so I'm very much looking forward to working on that, which I'm going to speak about in this video, about when you can expect the next part, okay? In addition to all of that, as you can see, I've got this new microphone set up, and I'm going to be having soundproofing foam going up on my walls in a couple of weeks. Right now, I have the foam, but I found out that my roof is going to be replaced here in my home within the next 2 weeks. So I said, I'm just going to wait for that, so that way we don't have all this foam hanging and falling off the walls while they're hammering on the roof for a few days, okay? So, it's been great so far. February and March have been awesome months. I hope that you guys, if you are patrons who have pledged, that you're enjoying your perks, like the premium forum access, the ability to vote on different events, people who are going to get their questions answered on Ask the King next week. All kinds of cool stuff going on. A bunch of t-shirts went out just this past week again. And now we got to talk about the month of April, okay? Excuse me. So let's talk turkey a little bit about a month of April in two regards. Number one, the perks. The perks for being a patron of mine are still the same for the third month in a row. Meaning for $1, you can get your name into this crawl, this text crawl. For $5, you get premium forum access, and you can vote on all kinds of new upcoming events, which we're about to talk about. For $10, you're going to get a verbal shout out in one of my videos, including the next one's actually going to be, I believe, Hate Live later this week, which we'll talk about. Yes, Hate Live is returning. The podcast will happen this coming week. For $20, you get your question answered and Ask the King. For $30, you get a Project 7 t-shirt. For $50, you get a private video. And for $75, you will get a part in an upcoming vlogging series. So that's a lot of perks, right? Some people have asked me, why haven't I updated these perks yet? It's very simple. Because the lower level perks are probably the more desirable ones because they're cheap and they're recurring, meaning they happen every month. How many people are going to want to donate $30 a month and get a bunch of Project 7 t-shirts? Probably not. Probably want the one t-shirt, and you're going to drop your pledge down to like $1 a month or $5 a month or whatever the recurring goal is that you actually want. And I understand that, and that's exactly what's happened. Every month we get some big donors, and then they drop down, and that's how it's been. I've been saying this from the beginning. The way for this to be successful, ladies and gentlemen, the way for this to be a completely successful project is not going to be with a small amount of people giving a large amount of money. All right, I don't want 10 to 20 people giving anywhere from $50 to $100 a month. That's not how the Patreon is going to be successful in the long run. I need a large amount of people to give a little bit, $1 a month, as little as $1 a month. You get a cool perk. You get into this crawl, right? $5 a month, you'll be able to vote. And wait till you hear in the month of April for $5 pledge, what the amount of stuff you're going to get to vote on is crazy. There's tons of stuff going on starting in May that you're going to want to vote on for being an April patron, excuse me, okay? So that's why I haven't changed the perks. Now, there's been some good suggestions about things that I can mix up. One of them has been, I've been promoting my girlfriend Leanna's soap making business. Some people are saying, why don't you do a perk where if we give a certain amount of money, we can get a bar of soap as like a special gift. Well, that's a good idea, but it would only work if you're domestic, meaning if you're in the United States, because if you can believe it, there's regulations against exporting soap outside of the United States, which is why she doesn't even sell outside of the United States on her business. I guess I might as well, as I'm talking about it now, give it a quick plug. Etsy.com/shop/the black currant, spelled Currant. She makes handmade glycerin soap. She makes wax tart melts. She's had over 25 sales in the first month and all positive reviews. So check it out if you're looking for a cool gift for someone or even for yourself, okay? But that was a good example, something I'd love to do, but unfortunately it's not viable. It would have to be domestic only, but maybe we will figure something out like that in the future, okay? So the perks are remaining the same, but the goals, ladies and gentlemen, for the month of April are live, and they are pretty good in my opinion. So first of all, the first goal is to continue on with the Patrons Choose It DSP playthrough, meaning you, the patrons, if you become a $5 patron in the month of April, are going to determine, do you want to see me continue to play Persona 4 as I've been doing for the past week and a half to 2 weeks, or do you want to see me completely drop it and do something different, or do you want to see me maybe continue to do Persona 4 a little bit, but do a new 4-week series of a Patrons Choose It game? That's going to be your choice if you become a $5 patron. You're going to vote on that, okay? In the month of the month of early May, excuse me, once the April pledges go through, you're going to be able to control that, all right? In addition, the second goal level is for the continuation of DSP Classics. So I'm going to continue doing Heavy Rain for about another week to 2 weeks. At the end of the month, when this happens, the patrons are going to determine, do you want to see Heavy Rain continue and conclude? Do you want to see me stop that and do a different playthrough? Or do you want me to conclude Heavy Rain and then start a different playthrough? And what will that playthrough be? What playthrough of mine and from the classics from back in the day do you want to see me do a DSP Classics montage kind of series on? And what I'll do is I'll take everyone's suggestions for the month and make a poll, and we'll do all that, all right? Again, $5 patrons, you guys are going to get the majority of control over that. I will take feedback from other sources, but usually it's going to be the patrons that are going to control that, okay? And then the big goal for this month, the $1,250 goal, which is the big level that I always have, is another Indies Marathon, where I'd like to do another day in the month of May, where all I do is play indie games, and again, the patrons are going to nominate and vote on what games those are going to be. So 3 huge things in the goals for April that the patrons are all going to control. If there's ever been a time for you to become a patron because you want to have influence over what I'm going to be doing in the months of May and going forward, this is the time to become a patron over on my Patreon page, okay? Now, there is a stretch goal that's been added, ladies and gentlemen. The stretch goal is, I'll be honest, it's for $2,000. So that means roughly around $750 between that $1,250 goal and the $2,000 goal is going to go towards equipment. What is the stretch goal for? Well, first of all, the reason it's called a stretch goal is because I don't expect to hit it anytime soon. $2,000 in 1 month is a ton of money to expect to get pledged, and I would hope that maybe over the next few months at some point we can reach that, but I'm not expecting to hit that in the month of April. I just want to make that clear. This is just kind of since I've been getting such great funding, let's do a really crazy out there goal so people would know what I would do if I could bring in that kind of funding. What is it? I want to get a new camera. Right now, guys, I'm using a 1080p webcam, a Logitech webcam for my setup right now. And even though it's nice, let's be safe, it's nice for the weekend preview. This is not the kind of camera I would want to use if I'm going to do cool new vlogging series, if I'm going to be doing Project 7, anything that's going to be using highly edited stuff. In fact, people have been saying, Phil, why don't you use your green screen? And I said, I just realized, what camera am I going to use if I do my green screen? I don't have a 1080p camera. I have the Sony camera that I've used for stuff that's 1080i. That's the one that I actually use for Hateful Truth reviews and stuff like that. And it's okay, but it's not great. And I don't have anything that could do high quality video to even implement a green screen. So I would really like to go out there and get a camera that, number 1, has a giant lens, number 2, has great focusing features, and number 3 is future proof. And what I mean by that is, even though, yeah, maybe it'll do 1080p, maybe it could do 60 frames per second, which not a lot of cameras do, and maybe we could even get one that's a 4K camera, so I kind of future proof myself a little bit. Maybe I could shoot in 4K, edit in 4K, and then when it uploads to YouTube, it downgrades the quality. Or apparently YouTube is going to support 4K at some point, so maybe we can even implement that, okay? So that's the kind of stuff I'm looking to do with this, new microphone, soundproofing, better camera. These are the goals that I think are going to be successful and help you and me with a successful Patreon moving forward. So that is the final goal. That is the stretch goal for April, $2,000 of funding. Like I said, do I expect to hit that? I do not. I think that maybe by the summer, hopefully, as more and more people gradually give $1, $5, and become ongoing patrons of just a couple bucks a month, maybe then we'll get closer to it. But by no means do I expect to hit this giant goal right away. If we do, awesome. I'll buy an awesome camera. I'll test it out. I'll set up the green screen in the garage. We'll mess around with it. But for now, I'm being realistic, and I don't expect that it's going to happen. Okay? So, all that being said, we've got a week and a half left. You only have a week and a half left to pledge to the April Patreon. With all that stuff going on, patreon.com/DarksidePhil. As little as $1 is going to help. $5, you'll get in on the voting for those 3 events that you're going to definitely want to get into. Let's do it. Let's see if we can reach our goals again for a 3rd month in a row, another successful patron drive. And, you know, coming up in the summer months, especially with the time, now that it looks like there's not going to be a lot of new games being released in the next few months, there may be more time for me to work on new things, and I'll have different goals and stuff set up moving forward. But for now, I felt let's be a little bit more conservative. Let's continue on with the series that we like, and let's, you know, maybe reshuffle a few things. Thanks so much for your increased and just awesome support everywhere, guys. Seriously, on Twitter, in comments and videos. Everywhere you guys have been communicating with me, I'm getting overwhelming positive feelings about people who are enjoying my content again. Just today, I hit 170,000 subscribers on DSP Gaming. Now, for someone like me who's been around the block, who's existed since 2008 on YouTube, you might say that's nothing. You have to realize that because of my upload style, the fact that I used to upload so many ridiculous amount of videos in a day, we're talking over 30 videos a day, you know, minimum. Most people never subscribe to my channel. They would just watch the videos. They would check my channel once a day, but they wouldn't subscribe because they were always complaining about there's too many videos and it would flood their inbox. Even though I have over 330 million views on my channel, there are people who have 2 million subs who don't have anywhere near as many views as I have. So for me to finally hit this, you don't understand, this is like a milestone, because I've been trying to do this for years. For years, I've been trying to just top 170,000. But what ended up happening, I would get close, and then YouTube would do an audit, and boom, my subs would go back down, then it would trickle up, and then boom, go back down again because of another audit. Finally, I've hit a point where I've hit it, and I'm like, gee, do you think I'll ever hit 200,000 subscribers on DSP Gaming? I don't know. I really don't know. Do I think my channel's ever going to blow up and become popular like it once was? Absolutely not. But I'm happy where I am right now, and I thank you guys so much for your participation, for your feedback, for your patronage, for everything. You guys have been really awesome these past few months, and I hope you've been enjoying the content that I've been putting out with my refreshed and renewed attitude, okay? So now let's talk about this week's schedule. So tonight, immediately following me finishing this week in preview, I'm going to spend about like an hour, hour and a half working on the next Best of Heavy Rain montage, because there's been overwhelmingly positive feedback and good vibes coming out of the first one that I did the other night. People saying, shit, Phil, this is awesome. It's a blast from the past. It's what we, you know, grew up learning about you, and this is your biggest playthrough, and this is what made you notable on YouTube, and we love this stuff, and we'd love to see you do another one. So you can, it's basically, in 20 minutes, I took the first over 2 hours of gameplay of Heavy Rain, my original playthrough from 2010, and I abridged it. I took out the dead time. All the jokes are in there. The glitches, the comedy, the best and worst stuff is in there. And people said they love it. So I'm going to continue on. I'm probably going to take the next 10 parts and start sifting through there. What do I want to include in the next montage? And, you know, I'm hoping to do at least 1 to 2 more of these by the end of the month. Now, I don't remember how long the Heavy Rain playthrough was. I really don't. I've told people this, and people don't believe me. I don't watch back my own videos. So once I played that game and I uploaded it, I never watched the playthrough again. So I have not even experienced Heavy Rain again until, if you remember, I did the alternate choices gameplay much later on. So I didn't really, you know, I don't even remember what happened in half the playthrough. This is cool. I'm rewatching it, re-experiencing it, and getting the funny parts in there so that we can catch them all in this montage. So I'm hoping to work on some of that tonight, and I'm hoping to finish that by the end of this week. So definitely by the end of this coming week, you will see part 2 of the best and worst of Heavy Rain montage from me. Okay, and like I said, I am hoping to maybe get 1 more out by the end of the month, so you'll have 3 of them, and we'll have a big chunk, and we'll have people decide, gee, do you want to see that continue and finish? What's the next game you want to see, etc., because they became $5 pledges for April on my Patreon account. They're the ones who are going to determine that, okay? Monday, ladies and gentlemen, after today's first session of Mortal Kombat Online gameplay, Mortal Kombat X, I don't feel like I did enough, or I don't feel like I prepared enough, and I also don't feel like I played enough to say, wow, I got a good session in. I really don't. I feel like I played for 3 hours today. The first few matches were absolute garbage, lagged like crazy. By the end of my session, I was finally starting to get my online legs, meaning I was getting used to the lag and stuff, and I actually had a few pretty good matches against some people who knew what they were doing. And then the stream ended, and I was like, fuck, you know, after all that waiting to play the game online and practicing all week and then finally getting online, only really getting a few good matches, and near the end was kind of disappointing. So what I'd like to do on Monday is, the first thing I want to do is take a few of the characters that I've already played with in story mode and such quickly into training mode, and very quickly run through them and do a few combos with them to try to learn bread and butter tactics. And I'd like to go back online. Some of the characters I'm thinking of in particular: Scorpion, Raiden, Takeda, who I sucked with today. I tried to play with him and I did terribly. Maybe Johnny Cage, who I played with, also in that mode. Cassie Cage. Everyone's saying Cassie Cage seems really good, and I haven't even really played with her besides the very end of the game where I didn't learn too much with her. So maybe I'll play with like a handful of characters for an hour in training mode, just messing around in the lab with them. And then I'll probably go online again for another hour or two and do some more multiplayer. That's going to be my first stream on Monday. Now, I want to warn everyone, I have an important phone call scheduled for noon. So I may be a little late to the stream, but I'm going to see how I can finagle it. Maybe I could stay a little later for the end of the stream, the first stream. But I have to get this phone. It's just, you know, behind the scenes stuff. It's business. I need to take care of something. So hopefully the call won't take that long, but it might. It might end up going long. Who knows? So noon tomorrow, I have an important phone call. After that, Mortal Kombat 10, a little bit more in the lab with characters, and then we're going to go back online. So second session tomorrow. Tomorrow night, Monday night, the return of Persona 4. We're going to do a 2-hour Persona 4 stream where I don't know where the game's going. At this point, I don't know if we're heading into a new story segment or not, but I've been doing all kinds of S-Link, you know, social link stuff, and unlocking all my traits, leveling up my traits. So it's been a lot of fun. The last stream on Saturday was fun. Even though there really wasn't any combat, it was a lot of fun to go through the game and unlock all this stuff. And I think people are enjoying the fact that I'm enjoying the game so much. I'm being very open-minded, and I'm actually enjoying the social link stuff rather than saying, oh, just get to the combat. I'm actually refreshed that this game has something much different than a typical JRPG. So again, thanks to the patrons for making this the playthrough for this month. Thank you for telling me you wanted to see it this month, and I didn't play Final Fantasy Type 0 HD, so I could play this at length this month. And thank you for the continued views. The fact that you're turning out for the streams, you're watching the videos on YouTube is keeping me playing the game and motivated. It makes me feel good. So thank you, and I will continue to play that this week on and off. Tuesday of this week, there is a new release, but there's a big but to it. Actually, I think there's 2 new releases this week. One new release is called Assassin's Creed Chronicles. It's a 2D side-scroller starring Assassin's Creed characters. I literally have zero interest in this game. Assassin's Creed has too many games as it is. This game has nothing really to do with the main universe of the game. It's just like a silly game they made with Assassin's Creed slapped on it for people to buy, even though it's a 2D side-scroller. If I'm going to play an Assassin's Creed game, I still have Assassin's Creed Rogue, which I bought last year in the fall and didn't have a chance to play it. I'll play that before I play another a 2D side-scroller game out of nowhere. So no, I'm not checking out Assassin's Creed Chronicles this week. But the one thing that is coming out this week that I'm interested in is the second half of the episodic DLC for The Evil Within, which I believe this is called The Consequences, which is supposed to be like the consequences of the first part where, if you remember, the agent who we've been following decides to go against her employer and I'll go off and do whatever she wants, and because of that, we're going to see more crazy stuff going on. So I'm interested in that, and I definitely want to do it. However, unfortunately, due to the nature of PSN and PSN releases, I have no confidence that DLC is going to be available this Tuesday. I really don't. I'm sorry, but I'm at this point I have to be better safe than sorry, and I have to be skeptical. I don't believe that that's going to be available for first stream when I want to play it on Tuesday. So right now I'm going to make the preemptive statement. I am not playing that on Tuesday. I'll be playing it on Wednesday. Okay? On Tuesday I will be, again, doing more Mortal Kombat X. This time I'll probably, again, take more characters into the lab, and I'll decide based off of tomorrow, Monday, if I want to go back in the lab and do more multiplayer, or maybe I'll want to check out more Challenge Tower. I'll figure it out on my own, because if I am playing a brand new character maybe that I haven't tried before, I may want to take them into the Challenge Tower first before I go online with them, okay? So that's kind of the gist of how MKX is going to be handled this week. There will be more in the lab gameplay. I will be playing more online multiplayer, which I will announce ahead of time, and I will be doing more Challenge Towers, all balanced throughout the week, so you guys can expect lots more of that coverage this week, okay? So Wednesday, I'm sorry, excuse me, let's go back. Tuesday, first stream again will be MKX, and yes, second stream again will be Persona 4, so that's pretty good for everyone, right? It's the best of both worlds. You're getting both games all week, okay? Thursday, first stream will be determined by how things went. I'm sorry, I skipped Wednesday. I'm sorry, guys, I'm getting off track. Wednesday will be the DLC for The Evil Within. That'll be first stream Wednesday, because the last one was about 3 hours long. I'm assuming this one will probably be about 3 hours long, too. So that DLC for The Evil Within will be first stream on Wednesday. Alright? Second stream on Wednesday will be TBD, to be determined by how things went this week. Same thing with first stream on Thursday, TBD. If people want to see more, wow, Phil, more Mortal Kombat. We want to see more online, you're doing good. Or not, it's enough of Mortal Kombat, maybe focus in on Persona 4 or anything else, you know? We'll see what happens during the course of the week, but second stream on Wednesday and first stream on Thursday, I'm kind of leaving open. Chances are it will be MKX or Persona 4. Let's see what happens with that, okay? Second stream on Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we will be doing Hate Live. My podcast will return. We didn't do it last week. We will be doing it this coming week. We're going to cover all kinds of topics, things going on in gaming news, covering all the things that have been going on with me, my Patreon, all the events that have been happening. We're also going to talk about my thoughts on MKX. Now, I haven't I haven't gotten to the point where I want to review the game yet, because I want to do a few more online sessions, but I may be giving you my initial thoughts after playing the game for a week. What do I think about it? Improvements, things that weren't improved, etc., okay? So that's going to be a cool segment. I am going to be doing the second half of my Back in the Day segment about my days at Circuit City stories, where I basically just scratched the icing on the cake last time. I'll elaborate a lot more on those stories this coming Thursday. So this Thursday, Hate Live returns. We had great viewership on the last Hate Live, guys. We had 13,000 views. Holy shit. If that doesn't show that people wanted to see Hate Live, they were craving it, and they, where is it? Because I hadn't done it in a few months. Thanks for the viewership. I hope to, we'll bring in the same people again this next coming week, okay? And then for the weekend, again, it's going to be determined primarily on what happens during the week. Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday, I only do one gameplay stream. You guys know that. So chances are that maybe those days, I focus in on one game or the other. Friday, we got the 2 streams. What I may do on Friday is exactly what I did last week, where I do one main gameplay stream, no second stream, so I could finish up the Best of Heavy Rain Part 2 montage, and we'll release it this Friday. So maybe once a week on Friday nights we'll be releasing those. We'll see, but I think that makes sense. If I do feel at any point during the course of this week I've played enough Mortal Kombat X that I want to review the game, I will. And more than likely, I get the feeling after playing it online several times this week, checking out a more wide variety of characters this week, I'll probably, by the end of this week, have a good feeling of what the game is about and want to review it. And maybe come this weekend, say maybe Sunday, I'll be reviewing MKX. And unlike the other people who rushed through the game and reviewed it already, which is absolutely ridiculous, how can you review a game that's only been out for a few days when it's a competitive game where you need to rate the online play and everything? It's beyond me that people do this shit, but they do. They rush and they put out their half-assed reviews. I'm going to take my time to play the game and give you a full, educated review, being that I've played every major fighting game since Street Fighter 4's release. I think you're going to be interested in what I have to say about the game. Alright, everyone. So that's pretty much it for the weekend preview. Let's recap. Tonight, I'll be working on the Best of Heavy Rain Part 2. Monday, maybe a little late to the stream due to an important phone call, but we're going to have Mortal Kombat X, which is probably going to be in the lab, and then more online play, Persona 4. Tuesday, Mortal Kombat X, Persona 4. Wednesday, the Evil Within DLC, and then whatever I decide to do later that night, it may be Persona 4 or maybe more MKX. Thursday, probably whatever I didn't play Wednesday night, I'll be playing Thursday's main stream, and then Hate Live. Friday, one major stream. I don't know if it'll be MKX or Persona 4, depending on the week. And then probably I'll be releasing the Best of Heavy Rain Part 2 Friday night. Saturday and Sunday, only one stream. By the way, there will be a new DSP Tries It this week. I forgot to mention that. And more than likely, near the end of the week, say Sunday, Monday, the review of MKX will be coming out. So, another full week of coverage of MKX, Persona 4 continuing on. We've got a cool Evil Within DLC. If anything else happens and we pull an audible during the week, I'll let you know. I always let you guys know on Twitter, @TheyCallMeDSP. That is the place to go to find out what's going on with me. As you guys know, every night I upload a new schedule, so that if there's any changes or things that are on the fly adjusted, you know, okay? That's it for the weekend preview. Fingers crossed I didn't botch it, and you'll actually be able to see this. Last time I tried to do this on Hate Live, I completely botched it, and the program didn't save the file, and I had to upload the raw stream with the pre-stream and everything. There was no pre-stream here because this is just a recorded video now. It's not a stream anymore. Fingers crossed that everything goes well. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm excited for this week. I hope you are, too. Continuing on with the stuff that you want to see. Let's keep going. Thanks for a great week. Let's move on to April with even more great stuff. Peace out, everyone. See you for gameplay soon.